Hi, I'm Dr. Russell, but you can call me Joellen. Moms are worried about climate change but don't know what to do, so the Science Moms created a simple to-do list so you can help. We're swapping, sharing, and speaking up. Check off your to-do list at sciencemoms.com.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. It's a busy little day for the LTN boys. We're getting ready to race at Talladega today. Always one of the most entertaining races on the schedule. Not one of my favorite just because they wreck so many cars. Will that change? Well, I don't know. We'll find out. Plus, it's the start of the Slinger season, and Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt are both at the track already. I know that the forecast was iffy. Guys, what's it looking like over there?
Well, it's not raining right now, and it looks like there's really no rain for this afternoon. Looks like they'll get the show in. We're excited to be here, ready to kick off the 75th season of racing here. The Miracle on the High Banks. It's a miracle day. The ARCA Midwest Tour is here at Slingers. A lot of good cars. I was here for practice. I think we're going to have a pretty good day and a pretty good season.
We're looking at like mid-30s in super lates, huh?
Yeah, track is drying. They're just finishing up drying it now, so practice hasn't quite started yet, but the clouds are moving fast, kind of clearing up, and it's not overly cold out, so that's something on the way.
Yeah, something unusual for this time of year, too. It is supposed to clear out by the end of morning, and we are supposed to get a full program in without delays. So keep that in mind when you're wondering whether or not you should come to the track. Now, in the event you decide not to come to the track, you have not one but two different ways of watching it on the internet today. It will be televised on racingamerica.com and midwesttour.tv with Jim Trado and my pit partner, Dean Strom, who is jumping into the booth today to do television with Jim Trado. So that will be coming up. Time trials get underway at 12 o'clock, and racing is at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So now, we also are joined by my partner, Ed Kaluka, who was at the track yesterday. I saw you for the first time in a while for practice yesterday. Welcome to the program, Ed.
Yeah, we went up there and scoped things out a little bit and saw everything that's going on at Slinger. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, very nice. What a great car count. Of course, that will happen. It is dual points today. It is the first race of the Slinger Elite 8 Series. 8 super late model events will go for the championship here. Plus, it is a Midwest Tour, ARCA Midwest Tour points race, and that will get their season underway before they head to Madison next week. And it's going to mean for a really good car count. We're looking at mid-30s, but I'm not real sure how many others are going to show up. So, I guess we go by who pre-registered, Dan, and we're looking, 34 or something?
Yeah, there were 34 on the entry list. I had a few more might come in as well. Some of the Slinger late regulars. My trips, we have a good strong car count. Ty Majeski was here. Derek Kraus was here as far as some heavy hitters. Jeff Storm had a run here. Brazen Bennett, the 47 car, was here. Levon Vandergeest here. Dennis Prunty is here. Alex Prunty is here.
Luke Fenhouse
first
is race
here
in Wisconsin.
So, I mean, it's a real strong field of cars that are here to run this first race, and it's a good way to get the season going, especially having the new Elite 8 Slinger Super Late Model Series and the ARCA Midwest Tour. Good point deal there for both series, which you carry on throughout the year.
And of course, today at Talladega, that race will be 2:20 is the scheduled green flag. They raced a couple of times there already. Yesterday they ran the ARCA series. Some guy named Nick Sanchez won that one. Anytime that ARCA Series races on one of these big tracks, you hold your breath and you hope nobody gets hurt seriously. Scott Melton was not fortunate to get out of there yesterday without getting transported to the hospital. Compound fractures of the left leg, which did require surgery, but he'll be okay. Just one of those crazy. It's why they watch ARCA when they race at Daytona and Talladega, all right? Because they think there's going to be one of these wild crashes, and lo and behold, there it was. The Xfinity Series raced yesterday. Wow! Now, that turned out to be a pretty damn good race, even though they had 3 overtimes. Jeffrey Earnhardt starts from the pole with his crew chief, Larry McReynolds, who doesn't even help his own son-in-law who has a car. He goes and helps Jeff Earnhardt and ended up second to Noah Gragson in that thing. I guess I don't know if one of those is a bigger story than the other. The third big story was A.J. Allmendinger comes away with another $100,000 bonus. Pretty good race, guys. Ed, I know you didn't see it because you were with me at the track. Dan, you were with me at the track. Let's see. Brian, did you watch it?
I watched the end of it. I mean, when I got done with the track, we went and watched the end of the race. It was a pretty good. I mean, Earnhardt was coming at the end. He just didn't have the help lined up that he needed to make the move on Gragson. He kind of got out far enough ahead that he could fend off, and he kind of moved in. And if somebody would have went with that 3 car, he probably could have won it. Now, I feel really old because back in 2005, Jeffrey Earnhardt's dad, Kerry Earnhardt, ran the Slinger Nationals here. I had to babysit him up on a roof. He was like 13 or 14. And real polite kid, didn't say much. Yes, sir, no, sir, is all he kept saying. But now I'm watching him finish second at Talladega. It's like, wow.
That's
it was impressive.
He's got over 100 starts in the Xfinity Series, too. So I know it would have been nice to see him knock one off once. He had a couple years ago, remember he did that IK9 deal, and he ran for Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity Series and came close to winning one of those. So it'd been nice to see him knock that off. But I don't know if he's going to get another shot at it or not. But
this was a Childress car, too, with Larry Mack as the crew chief. So, yes, impressive. See, we didn't really know how good he was. He was in Gibbs equipment, which we all assume is capable of winning a race, but he never really looked as good as he did yesterday. Ran up front all day and really did himself well. So glad to see it for Childress, for Earnhardt, for Larry Mack. It was all the way around. It was a good day. And speaking of Earnhardt, his driver, Noah Gragson, was the winner of that race, who's, boy, while no one's really talking about it, he's having one hell of a season so far. Gragson is also in today's race, right?
With nothing set for next year. I mean, he's not set to be back in that car next year. He's kind of up in the air what he'll do. So if you're going to have a good year, it's probably a contract year. It's a good year to have it.
Yeah. No doubt.
He didn't seem too concerned in the media center about it. He says, I really enjoy driving the Xfinity cars. I don't know if I'll enjoy driving Cup cars.
Well, he certainly has the talent. I mean, we all agree with that. And he's quite a
Well, he
personality.
tamed him down a little bit. I mean, he was going wild, man, for a while there. And
Yeah.
kind of got him tamed down to where he's didn't have to, you sure as hell don't have to push the rope with him.
Yep. You're right. He's certainly got the gift. I think we're going to see him around, but the trouble is how much money did Dad leave him before he went to jail, So hopefully he has enough.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
he's in jail for, 20 years or something?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Todd.
Let's not forget these things.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Today's race, he's in the 62
Jesus.
car, right? Which has got and that's got a new deal with Wendy's. That's bringing them on. That's a new sponsor. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's all the way. Hey, speaking of Earnhardt, how about this? Earnhardt, who is under contract and one of NBC's television stars, is on Fox today as an analyst, one of their guest analysts. Wow, how the hell did they talk?
That's a kind of cool deal. And if you've kind of noticed, the networks seem to be working with each other a lot more. It started a couple years ago with the college basketball deal. You had CBS working with Turner Motorsports or Turner Network to put their two things together to run that. This year with the USFL, you got the NBC and Fox kind of doing a conglomeration together to broadcast that. So maybe all those sharp ties, the TV networks aren't what it used to be. A lot of people are streaming stuff, so it's a tougher market to get. and now they're working together, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it can't hurt. The ones that come out on the good end of it are the fans, the viewers, which is just the way we like it. LTN returns. Hang in there.
It'll be here before you know it. America's National Park of Speed, Road America, has a thrilling, jam-packed race season coming May through September. Vintage racing, IndyCar, NASCAR, and more. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Matt Kenseth returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 1st for the Joe Shear Classic 200. Presented by Keen Park. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour battle on Wisconsin's fastest half mile for $15,000 to win. Plus Midwest Trucks and 602 Outlaw Late Model. Get advanced discount tickets and information at MISRacing.com. The ARCA Midwest Tour returns to Madison International Speedway for the Joe Shear Classic 200. Featuring NASCAR champ Matt Kenseth. First race 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, May 1st. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need. With fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Want to win $1,000? Well, we hope you've trained those fingers to spring into action. Every hour from 9 to 5 weekdays. Listen for the keywords, then enter them on our website for your chance to get $1,000 in your hand starting Monday
On the Big 920.
And welcome back to the program. Boy, oh boy, we had us a race last week. They're still buzzing about it. The Bristol dirt race, night race, battling rain on Easter Sunday. 250 laps, which is one of the longer dirt races you'll ever see. A wild finish, and I still I'm just pinching myself, wondering exactly what happened there. Reddick about to win his first race, and on the last lap, Chase Briscoe caught him, dove into the corner to try and pass him on a move that was ill-fated, ill-advised from the get-go, and took Reddick out, took himself out, and Kyle Busch, who was cruising along and would have finished a very quiet third, just cruised by those two and won his first dirt race, becoming the second driver in the history of NASCAR to win at least one race in 18 straight seasons, tying Richard Petty yet again. Guys, I guess we can talk all day about whether or not it's a good idea to put dirt on Bristol. They've already announced they're going to do it again next year, but that was a whale of a finish, wasn't it?
I thought it was a really good race. It held your interest, and I think it reflected in the ratings as well. I mean, it wasn't like the ratings were like 20 years ago, but compared to what they've been lately, I think it was a win for him that way. And, yeah, I mean, you got two guys going for the win like that, and Reddick with his first one, and Briscoe makes the mistake, which I understand you got to go for the win. I mean, I don't think he went in and diving in, I'm going to dive bomb and take him out. And it just happened that way. He spun and clipped him. And I thought they both handled it with class afterwards. Everybody was real mad. How can Tyler Reddick get out and not be mad and go pop that guy? Well, the first thing I remember were two guys wrecking for a win. I was 6 years old. I watched it on TV, and Richard Petty and David Pearson crashed for the Daytona 500. And both those guys didn't have any issue with each other. I mean, it can be done. We don't have to be fighting every time we have a incident on the track.
I think Reddick understood the situation too. I mean, it's not like Chase went in there and just blasted him. Chase was completely sideways. His rear end of the car hit the rear end of Reddick's car. So he did, he was in a spin already. He didn't mean to go in there and just knock him out of the way like you see a lot of people do. So I think that's where, they're both dirt racers. They know how racing on dirt is a little more suspect versus on the asphalt. You don't have as much complete control of your race car on dirt as you do on the asphalt. And I think that's where you have two dirt racers that know how racing goes. That's why they weren't fighting.
It's funny that all these people that were complaining that Reddick was too nice when it was over. Well, what did you want? The other side of the coin is Ty Gibbs. Is that what you want? I'm not real sure what people want. Remember what the late, great Buddy Baker once said, I'd rather crash going for the win on the last lap than to be happy to finish second. Reddick took the blame himself. I never should have let him catch me. Dan, that sounds familiar, doesn't it?
That's a kind of a Richard Petty type answer. I remember at the race at Darlington early on, and Petty got taken out by Dale Earnhardt. And they asked him, and he says, "It's my anytime you're racing around Earnhardt, you're in trouble, and I wasn't smart enough to get out of the way."
Yeah, it was. It sure was entertaining. I really hated that we had to sit through rain delays. It was nice that they were able to continue racing after rain delays. Brian, how does that work? Sometimes the track actually gets better.
Yeah, I mean, it depends upon how much rain you had. And fortunately, they didn't have a lot. I mean, if you would have had any kind of consistent, steady rain, we would have been done because you wouldn't have, as you saw with Christopher Bell's car, it gets slippery. You can slide right off there. But it was slow enough that it was able to soak itself back in to kind of bring the track back up. I think another thing that we all learned was these cars, we continue to say how well these race cars are, that these new next-gen cars, and they put on a show on the dirt that they actually look like they somewhat belonged on that track. They handled a heck of a lot better than the cars they had last year. They seem to maneuver a little bit better on that track. The wider tire, I think, helped a lot on there. Those cars actually looked like something that would be more competitive on dirt, and they put on a good show with it.
It was a good show. Even through the rain delays and the waiting and all the BS, it was a hell of a show. And, it wouldn't have been the subject of so much conversation if Chase Briscoe hadn't decided to dive bomb on the last lap, and it certainly made for an interesting. And then Kyle Busch gets out of his car to the boos of everyone in that place, and had a very interesting press conference when it was over. My goodness, they started asking him questions about his contract with Gibbs, and he definitely had his tail feathers up in the air about it. I don't know. Ask Gibbs. If you haven't seen it yet, we posted it on our Facebook page, the interview that Busch had. It's just incredible. He sounds to me frustrated like we all were when Matt Kenseth lost Dollar General and they didn't find a sponsor, so they signed a cheaper, younger driver, and there just happens to be one in the family who's warming up in the bullpen and ready to come in at any time. The question is, how are you going to find a sponsor, a sponsor at all for Ty Gibbs when you can't get one for one of the greatest drivers ever to strap in, Kyle Busch?
And that all comes down to what you're going to, he can probably find a sponsor who would take a massive pay cut. And then it's what, are you willing to do that? And that's kind of what happened with Kenseth. They probably could have found a sponsor, but he wouldn't have gotten paid anywhere near what he was getting paid before. So do you look elsewhere or do you just, go that route? And Brian brought something interesting. There's a guy that's been really friendly with him lately now, hasn't he?
Yeah. If you've noticed some tweets, you see Brad Keselowski all of a sudden coming out there talking about how, great of a driver Kyle Busch is, and fans shouldn't be knocking him like they do, and this, that, and the other thing. And you start putting the dots. Kyle may not be overly, he may not have a secure job over there at Gibbs, and well, Brad now owns RFK Racing, and wouldn't they love nothing more than a superstar, a Hall of Fame driver, arguably enough? I mean, I think that was part of it too. Didn't Brad say something about Kyle deserves to be in the Hall of Fame right away also, and stuff like that? So, those are two guys that couldn't stand each other not that long ago, and now Brad's kind of, trying to kiss and make up here real quickly, and well, maybe he wants him to drive one of those cars in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? To put somebody in that 17 car who would be capable of winning every week rather than a shot in the dark like they have now. You got to say one thing about Keselowski. He is a sharp cookie. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This week on NASCAR Live, we caught up with Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Crazy to me that you can have Denny Hamlin win Richmond and then he's battling with me at Martinsville, and we had 2 bad races in a row, and it's just crazy. I think if you hit it right with this new car, you're really fast. If you miss it, it's a handful.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Join us Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to LTN. We have a Facebook comment that is pretty interesting. Josh Quinn says that he disagreed with our assessment of the race. He thought the race was mediocre at Bristol. The finish was good. Track prep was a joke. Scoring was a joke. They should race on an actual dirt track like Eldora. Scoring was an issue during that race because apparently people didn't understand exactly what was talked about at the drivers' meeting. Brian, you want to kind of go over that a little bit?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the reason it turned into an issue because people were educated on how it was actually working. It's no different than any other short track. What happened is when, and same way in ARCA does it all the time, the regular ARCA series, and it just so happened that it rained at a time where it showed it. So as soon as they took the end of the stage, the checkered flag flew, scoring stopped. So that's when the scoring froze. Cars went into the pits, and then it rained. So if the cars would have went in the pits and you would have came back out, scoring would have picked back up when the green flag flew, and those cars would have went to the back. But since nothing happened after that point, it was froze in its spot. So there was really no issue there. It's just the cars lined up actually on the track. What they saw with their eyes wasn't actually where the scoring was. And if there was no rain, then you would never have known otherwise.
And guest commentator Darrell Waltrip didn't understand it and said, well, the way when I came up through racing, anybody that goes into pits goes to the end of the lead lap. Well, that might be the case, but it isn't what they told the drivers before, and they didn't tell the media. So there's a media storm on Twitter about how screwed up NASCAR was.
Right. Yeah, and that was the other thing, too. I mean, this just goes to show that when there are drivers' meetings, you actually do need to pay attention and follow along and ask questions if you don't know what the actual procedures are going to be. And like I said, had it not rained, nobody would have known otherwise, because as soon as they reset, and they did it at the end of the first stage. Same thing happened at the end of the first stage. The cars that went in, once they took the green flag, the scoring reset itself, and then it was where it was. But these are the controlled cautions, so that you don't have to bring all your big name pit crew guys in there, which they didn't the other day. This is how it saved some of that from happening, and scoring just caught.
Brian, what about that comment about the track prep was a joke?
I didn't see any problem with it. I mean, the track prep was about as good as you could ask for. I mean, the mud issue was only at the very beginning, and you're going to have that at every dirt track. That's nothing new. You know, I don't think it would have been any different at Eldora. I can tell you, if you would have been at Eldora, it would have been a lot more dustier because the dirt in Ohio has a lot of dust. And I've been to Eldora a lot of times, and it can get crazy dusty there. So the fact that this red clay that they have at Bristol doesn't get quite as bad made for a really good race. I thought it was smooth. There were no bumps.
Why did it never develop a cushion?
Well, these cars.
The first that dirt track I've ever seen, it was straight to the wall. No cushion for the dirt car to ride around on the right rear up against so-called cushion.
These cars aren't designed to make cushions. That's the thing. You know, you have to slap on them. They weren't throwing the dirt up, piling it up like you see with a sprint car or a dirt late model. You know, the cars drove a lot straighter. The straighter you go, you're not throwing as much dirt.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why you didn't really have it.
If you have an opinion about either the race at Bristol or racing at Talladega or Kyle Busch or the Reddick incident, you can call us at our telephone number 414-421-7901. And
I have one about Kyle Busch.
Let us know. Go ahead, Ed.
Well, you know, this all started when we used to call him Chief Chip. And then Kaufman came in with Michael Waltrip. And two business guys who started looking at the way a cup team is run and just put everybody in the same, and it started getting all the car owners together and said, this is crazy. And that, I remember back in the day when Scott and Mike were in the heyday of being a mechanic on a cup car, they were making like, you know, $1,600, $1,700 a week for what they did. And throughout the entire shop, guys were getting over $1,000 a week, okay? And Kaufman and Chip Ganassi said, wait a minute, this is crazy. Why are we paying his help, you know, mechanics, the kind of wages we're paying them? Why are we paying the drivers the kind of money we're paying them? You know, IndyCar drivers don't seem to care about not making $10 million a year. But it got so far out of hand with Cup that something had to happen. And when younger drivers started coming in for less money, and that started the new era of how much you make a week, a year, is changing right now.
Yeah, it had to do a lot, and as far as I'm concerned, it all had to do with sponsors drying up. They just didn't have the money to continue to pour $20 million a year into a cup team and just say, "Have at it, boys! Here, just spend it, and we'll see you at the track." You know.
Well, that's because the numbers back then. The numbers, the TV ratings, everything about it, the full grandstands of 120,000 people was in power. And that all went away. It went away. Why did it go away? Well, you can blame NASCAR for a big part of that, part of the leadership that when the druggy France came in and screwed this whole thing upside down. You know, he was the beginning of the end of how we know how to race today. You know, and it just what the moves that he made were so bad and hurt the sport so much. It's going to take a long time for it to come back. They have the leadership now to bring it back, but you're never going to see another heyday like we had there as far as guys going down to Charlotte to make that kind of income every year.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Ed, I hate to defend a guy that I've never been a big fan of, but Brian France did do a couple of things. He's the one that brought the the stages. He's the one that brought the chase, the playoffs. That was all under his regime. And there are people that think that's the greatest thing that happened in NASCAR.
Or the TV money. I mean, the TV deal was quite a big deal at the time. The rights that they got and the money they got for that. I mean, it you could see the trend happening back in that, right around the time that Kenseth retired is when the trend happened. It was that guys weren't going to make the salary that they were going to make because the sponsorship wasn't getting as much. And I remember Earnhardt Dale Jr. making a comment about
If you have bills and debt piling up, a personal loan through NetCredit can provide funding up to $10,000 to help you get back on track if eligible. Visit netcredit.com today. All NetCredit loans and lines of credit are offered by a member of the NetCredit family of companies or one of our lending partners. Visit netcredit.com/partners for more information.
This ad is almost 3 million gallons long because it's exactly the same amount of time it takes for that much water to flow over the deck at Niagara Falls. So, how does the deck stand up to all that water? Thompson's Water Seal. Just another reason they call us America's recognized brand in water protection. Weather protected, water sealed. Thompson's Water Seal. Trust the seal. Available at a retailer near you.
Guys are going to have to wake up for that right after he retired, because it really ticked Kevin Harvick off. For a long time, Harvick was mad about that because, hey, you're not here trying to negotiate these deals, and all those guys were in that boat where you're going to have to take some kind of a pay cut. Just how big of a cut are you going to take? And Kyle Busch is in that situation now because he's still under the old contract. I think M&M Mars, signed a deal years ago when it was still like that. So they're still held by that. So next time around, no one's going to have that kind of a money to give him.
Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. What kind of a world are we living in NASCAR? And it changes all the damn time. We'll be back.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Elkhart Lakes Road America this 4th of July weekend. The NASCAR Quick Trip 250, presented by Jockey Made in America, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 guarantees high-speed thrill and endless family fun. Enjoy the family fun zone, camping on site, and free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This, keep it on the down low here, is the Dan Patrick Show.
Oh, did you see where Antonio Brown and Kanye West, they would like to team up to buy the Denver Broncos? But I think they said, or Kanye said, that, the white owners wouldn't allow us to buy the Broncos. I think the reason why they wouldn't allow you is because you're crazy, Kanye.
Dan Patrick. The Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings after 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you could join us this Sunday morning. It's cloudy and looks like there should be some showers passing through southeastern Wisconsin, but the forecast is very positive. They're going to be opening the season at the Slinger Speedway today. We've got racing starting at 2 o'clock. The ARCA Midwest Tour is making a very, very momentous occasion. They've never been at Slinger Speedway before. They've been one of the top touring groups in the country for many years, and yet first time that it's been put together that they can race at Slinger Speedway. If you can't make it to the track, it will be televised. MidwestTour.tv and RacingAmerica.com. Today, Dan Margetta will be the one doing the camera work. Jim Trado and Dean Strom will be on the mic. I'll be at the track with Eric Heinefeld, and we're looking for a great crowd and an absolutely stupendous car count today as we get the season started.
It's been dry all morning, and the car's been on the racetrack. They're well into practice right now. We've had over 30 super lates on the track already. 35.
35. Woo-hoo! Oh, that's awesome. You got any times yet?
Fastest before was Johnny DeAngelis was at the top of the board just before. Now they have the modifieds out there, so I have to check it. Take a look.
DeAngelis might just be knocking on the door. When he won that Halloween race last year, it's kind of like he beat some of the best in the business, and maybe that's just what he needed to get himself going.
Was fastest in that first practice at 11.414.
Who was?
Ryan Farrell, Nick Wagner, Richie Locke, and Brad Keith. Derek
Ryan Farrell is fast everywhere he goes. He was telling me yesterday, he's been trying to get faster at Slinger, and I'll be darned. There he is finally, huh? Pretty great.
And live timing and scoring is now on Monitor.
Okay, you can find it at Race Monitor.
Yep.
All right, very good. And you'll be able to watch practice laps. At Talladega today, 3 cars failed pre-qualifying inspection. Two of them are guys that could actually have a shot at winning the race. The 19 car, they sent the engineer home. The 47 car sent the car chief home there, another back marker failed inspection. But they had some real weird things going on. It was sunny and warm at Talladega, and the cars, before they went through inspection, were sitting out in the sun. The tolerances are so spectacularly close that the sun made some things expand on the cars, and many cars were having a hard time. They were holding little umbrellas over different areas of the car to get it out of direct sun. I don't know. It looked like fenders, Ed. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, because the upper control arms are now made of aluminum.
Oh.
They're not made out of steel.
Good
and
God.
they definitely will expand and grow. Rather than, the old steel ones that in the sun, the temperature of the aluminum would expand, more thousands than steel. Never heard of that before until these new upper and lower control arms and all the pieces they're using on these cars are machined out of a high-grade aluminum.
Wow. Well, I guess they're going to probably have shaded areas for these cars in the future, I would think.
Todd, do you remember Cale Yarborough holding an umbrella over his car?
No, I missed that one. What would Cale Yarborough do? He would have said, you know what, I'm retiring. I can't see a couple of these guys wanting to hang around in this current environment. Harvick at the top of the list. How frustrated does he have to get before he says, you know what, I've had enough of this crap and I'm out of here? And there's a couple other guys that are around 40 that you would think you might hear the same thing from, right?
Well, they're too used to making millions of dollars a year. That's all.
True. And unless you brought the sponsor, that ain't happening.
It's just hard for me to...
Even then, you don't get some money.
That we're that tight now that, sunshine on a car is going to make you fail tech. That just seems... what are we doing here? We're that... I realize you want to keep the playing field level and all that thing, but really, if you leave your car sit out in the sun, telling you you're not gonna pass inspection.
It's just what have we come to? But you know what? Whatever it takes. This is the year 2022. Cale Yarborough would have just said, "That's what's coming in the future." Whew. These are the guys that would drink until 3 a.m. and then slap each other on the back and come back 6 hours later and race. Things have changed a little bit over the years, that's for sure. Again, if you'd like to participate, we'd love to have you at 414-421-7901. Matt Kenseth raced last week at Boston in the marathon.
He beat Jimmy Johnson.
He beat Jimmy Johnson. He did that whole course in a little over 3 hours, 3 hours and 1 second. He was running less. He averaged less than 7-minute miles. He, at 50 years old, he is in as good or better of physical condition as he has ever been in his life. Can you imagine that? And all this working out so he can race next week at Madison, I guess, huh?
We'll see. He's pretty darn good there.
It's been a while since he's been in a super late model, so we'll see how competitive he is when he gets back out in it. I thought he said 2019 maybe was the last time he was out there. So it's been a while.
Talent is one thing. Learning these new cars and all the nuances. Ed, I don't know how much it's changed in 3 years, but even Matt said, I got to watch out. I haven't been in a car for a while.
Yeah, the bump stop suspension is a whole new concept of racing these cars. But it was interesting to hear Matt go into depth about this Joe Shear Classic. He started his career in racing, working on cars at left-hander with Joe Shear, and how Joe Shear was not the most, what would you say,
talkative.
The guy that would sit down and have a conversation with you about race cars. He wanted to keep everything he had to himself and not share it. And he seemed to have that respect for Matt when they worked together. One of the few people that got into Joe's mind was Matt Kenseth. So that was interesting.
And also you got to remember Joe Scheer I'm not saying he was, but he certainly is in the conversation, may be the greatest short track driver Wisconsin's ever produced. Now you say, well, you're forgetting about Dick Trickle. Yeah, there's others too, but Scheer was absolutely as good as it got, right?
Oh, hell yeah. There's no doubt about it. His talent was, second to none, and he did it quietly. Very, very quietly.
Very quietly. Go ahead, Dan.
If you remember when Joe was driving Nielsen's car, the next guy to drive that car was Matt Kenseth, and that kind of was when his career really kind of took off once he got in that Nielsen ride.
Forgot all about that, right? The black number 8 followed the black number 36. Yeah, and Matt started winning some higher profile races, and it kind of went from there. When Robbie Reiser went down to make a career for himself, he needed a driver. And who did he call? His greatest rival he had on the short tracks of Madison and Slinger, Matt Kenseth. Yeah. And now Matt's running under 7-minute miles without a race car. Pretty great. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It'll be here before you know it. America's National Park of Speed, Road America, has a thrilling, jam-packed race season coming May through September. Vintage racing, IndyCar, NASCAR, and more. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Matt Kenseth returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 1st for the Joe Scheer Classic 200. Presented by Keen Park. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour battle on Wisconsin's fastest half mile for $15,000 to win. Plus Midwest trucks and 602 Outlaw Late Model. Get advanced discount tickets and information at MISRacing.com. The ARCA Midwest Tour returns to Madison International Speedway for the Joe Scheer Classic 200 featuring NASCAR champ Matt Kenseth. First race 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, May 1st. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
This, keep it on the down low here,
is the Dan Patrick Show.
Oh, Fritzy was on fire this morning. Tom Brady hijacked March Madness Selection Sunday. Go ahead, Todd.
I like it.
He had hijacked a TV show.
On Selection Sunday, really?
Do you think if Tom Brady did not unretire, that all we're talking about is March Madness today?
No.
Dan Patrick. The Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings after 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Yeah, he's cranking up pretty strongly here now as we get to the end of April. We'll start Wednesday night, Bridgeport, New Jersey, the invasion of the posse for the 410 sprint cars. $7,500 to win. Anthony Macri was your winner over there. Thursday night in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, the All-Star Circuit of Champions sprint cars pulled into town there. Anthony Macri picked up the win there as well, but he had a battle on his hand. He had to pass Bill Balog. Bill Balog led a good portion of that race, kind of got tripped up a little bit in lap traffic, hung on and finished second, but strong showing for him there. But Anthony Macri, that was his 4th win in a row in April. That's a pretty impressive feat right there. Friday night,
On a cold February morning in Indianapolis, Tony Karitzis woke up, got dressed, loaded his sawed-off shotgun, and drove to his bank. He wasn't there to steal anything. He was there to take his life back. American Hostage is a new podcast starring me, John Hamm, that tells the true story of one man who channeled the rage of a nation and took justice into his own hands. Follow American Hostage wherever you get your podcasts, or you can binge all 8 episodes right now on Amazon Music or Wondery Plus.
Gravity Park, Menominee, Mississippi Thunder, and the World of Outlaw Sprints in Tri-Cities all rained out. They did race in Farmer City, Illinois. The UMP late model feature winner was Mike Spatola. In the modifieds, it was Alan Weissner. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Port City Raceway, the USAC Amsoil National Midgets, or NOS Energy Drink Midgets. Justin Grant was your winner. Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, the Williams Grove Speedway, the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Brett Marks was your winner. Bill Baylog finished 18th in that one. Chillicothe, Ohio, the Atomic Raceway for the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Model Series, 10,000 to win. That went to Tyler Erb. And down in Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway, the XRS Super Series for the Super Late Models, the Florida Dirt Nationals, night number 1, $25,000 to win on a Friday night. That went to Tim McCready. Last night, we finally got the dirt season started here in Wisconsin, and a shout-out to Beaver Dam Raceway. They had an inch of rain on Friday during the day. They got on the track, worked the track till 3 in the morning, came back at 8 o'clock in the morning and got the track prepped, and the IRA 410 sprint cars showed up. And that's one of the first dirt races I've ever been to where there was not any dust at all. None. I mean, there was so much moisture in there. That track was wide open fast, and Scotty Thiel picked up the win for the IRA sprint cars for their season opener. Justin Pearson was your winner in the Grand Nationals, and a beautiful night for an opening night there. It was like 70 degrees. It was a little windy, but a good night up there. Shawano Speedway was the only other dirt track to also get going in Wisconsin. The Dirt Kings Late Model Tour was up there. Troy Springborn picked up the win. In the IMCA Modifieds, it was Connor Walensky, and the stock cars was Kyle Frederick. Peoria, Illinois, the UMP Late Models. They had a $5,098 to win Kerry Swiball Memorial. And your feature winner there was Justin Reed. And anybody that's watched dirt late model racing in Wisconsin, you'll recognize that very nice-looking yellow and black number 11 car that's owned by Jeff Curtin. That Justin Reed drives that car, and they were not at Shawano because they were down in Peoria, and he picked up, that might be his first ever super late model win. So congratulations to him, and a big payday too. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the second night of the USAC Midgets down there. Buddy Kofoid was your winner. The All-Star Circuit of Champions were in Port Royal, Pennsylvania Saturday night. Anthony Macri won again. That's 5 out of 6 races for him. Bill Baylog finished 13th. Hopstad, Indiana, the Tri-State Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Carson Macedo was your winner. Chillicothe, Ohio, night number 2 for the World of Outlaw Late Models. 15,000 win. That went to Brandon Shepard. And the big payday last night was in Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway for the XRS Super Series, Florida Dirt Nationals. $50,000 to win. And Jonathan Davenport finally got a win. It's hard to believe that it took till the end of April for him to get a win, but since they're paying so much money, he jumped right. I'm sure financially he's right back to where he needs to be when you pick up a
$50,000 he won.
Yeah, they paid $25 one night and $50 the next. That series is incredible how much money they're paying out there, and you're going to hear that a lot as we go through the season. This same guy that's putting on the North Wilkesboro thing that we talked about last week is putting up this big money here. So all the big dogs are going out there.
Good for racing. Glad to hear it. In the world of asphalt, well, we have a couple things for you. They started their season at Rockford yesterday. The Big 8 Series raced down there. Max Kaler was your winner. Mid-American Series ran, and Ron Vandermeer Jr. was your winner. Other than that, Slinger Speedway is what's going to put the racing world on the map today in the world of asphalt. Again, racingamerica.com and midwesttour.tv if you want to watch the race at Slinger, or better than that, come on up to the Slinger Speedway. Plenty of room for you. We'd love to have you, and it's going to be a great show with 36, did you say?
35.
35 super late models that are practicing already, and you never know how many more are coming. All other divisions, by the way, that are racing at Slinger Speedway are going to have features only, no heat races for all the other divisions. So
I kind of got down here if you want to, how the day is going to lay out. Opening ceremonies are at 1:50, and then there's going to be 2 30-lap super late model showdowns that come right after that. And then you're going to have your pro late model feature, 45 laps. Your modified feature, 35 laps, and then we're going to go roll right into the 75-lap Midwest Tour feature. And then after that, you'll have your Sportsman feature, Slinger Bees, and the Super Cups. So all feature racing, no heat races or anything today.
Pretty cool stuff, that's for sure. And we're looking forward to seeing you. Racing gets underway about 2 o'clock. So we're looking to see you there. Now, All right, we've got 2 races to pick today. By the way, we're not very good at picking. I will say that right now. I did pick Reddick to win last week. That didn't happen. Dan had picked, of all people, Chase Briscoe to win last week, and that didn't quite happen. None of us took the 18 car to win. Let's start with Talladega today. It really is a crapshoot, isn't it? It's so much of a crapshoot. I'm taking Bubba Wallace.
Oh, 2 in a row for him there, huh? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Suarez, 99.
There we go. All right, Dan.
All right, I'll go 6 car, Brad Keselowski.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good one. You know, you still have that brilliant mind in the shop down there take care of the Speedway program.
All right,
Fennig.
I got to check out my fantasy league here and pick somebody that I don't have in my fantasy league because if I pick them, they usually suck.
They'll be bad.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47.
That's the guy that Todd just called the back marker a little while ago.
No. I said 2 guys with a shot at the race, the 19 and the 47, plus a back marker who just happens to be the 77. That's all right. All right, Slinger Speedway today. The season opener, a lot of good cars, and I mean good cars. Ed, let's start with you.
Tommy Jeske.
Okay, the easy pick. All right, Dan.
Go Derek Kraus.
Ooh.
Nice. Brian?
I'm going to say your defending champion, Luke Fenhouse.
That's always a safe pick, it seems to me. I almost hate to pick guys because they tell me later that I jinxed them when I do that. I'm taking Alex Prunty to win today. So, yes, a Prunty. And of all people, usually it's Dennis that wins the opener, seems like, huh? Well, we've got a lot more cars to deal with today. That'll be a lot of fun, that's for sure. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Elkhart Lakes Road America this 4th of July weekend. The NASCAR Quick Trip 250, presented by Jockey Made in America, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 guarantees high-speed thrill and endless family fun. Enjoy the family fun zone, camping on site, and free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult. Don't wait. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
This week on NASCAR Live, we caught up with Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Crazy to me that you can have Denny Hamlin win Richmond and then he's battling with me at Martinsville, and we had 2 bad races in a row, and it's just crazy. I think if you hit it right with this new car, you're really fast. If you miss it, it's a handful.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Join us Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Well, I used to lead the show off with who sits on the pole. I forgot to do that. Christopher Bell was the fastest qualifier. He did 180 at Talladega, 0.928, 52.927. The only car beating 53 seconds. I'm trying to remember offhand. Isn't this about 15 miles an hour less than what the old cars were at this track?
That sounds about right. I know they were always right at. They never wanted to hit 200 for the insurance deal. They're always right below it. But yeah, 180 seems a little slow for Talladega.
And,
Although so when they're all in a pack together.
Yeah, no kidding. And how close it was. Can you imagine Toyotas 1 and 2, at least one car at a time? The Toyotas are pretty fast. I guess the question is, how are they in pack racing?
And I don't know. I mean, look back at Daytona. The Ford seemed to be better there. But now Daytona's got more of a handling characteristic to it than Talladega, right? I mean, Talladega's just flat out hold it to the mat, try to steer it and hang on. Whereas Daytona, you got to have a little bit of handling in your car to get around there. So maybe a little different this time around. We'll see. I mean, we haven't had much practice, so we don't really know.
All right. Today's race will be televised on Fox. The green flag is at 2:20 this afternoon. That'll be head-to-head with Slinger. So remember to put your laptop at racingamerica.com or midwesttour.tv if you are not at Slinger Speedway. And I hope to see my friends back at Slinger Speedway.
DVRs for you. Just set your DVR. Watch Talladega later. Come here.
There you go. That's the way of the.
Todd isn't going to tell anybody what's happening at Talladega while you're.
I am not.
Go home.
I absolutely am not. I stopped doing that. It was fun for a while, but then people got all nasty with me. I just tell them, don't look at the scoreboard. We'll put it up there. Even that got them pissed off. So, yeah, what are we going to do? Gentlemen, big day for racing. Talladega is what we've got to hope is that these cars we got to see them once at a speedway race at Daytona, but anytime you race at Talladega, we got to hope we have more cars running on the track than crashed at the end of this one.
Yeah, that's usually the case of these speedway races, and they all play nice until the very end. When it gets down to the chips are down and it's time to really go, that's when people start taking more than they're given, and that's when you get these big wrecks. And that's the thing about being at these races is, if I was a driver, I would be really frustrated to run all good all day and then have something happen that's not even your fault at all, just be swept up in somebody else's mess and you finish 30th. And that can happen. That's why it's such a crapshoot to pick the winner. You look at the odds of this race; their favorites are like 10-1, 12-1. Because you just don't know. I mean,
it is definitely a crapshoot. Hey, Keselowski, would this be a way to turn his season around? It's about probably the only way he's going to make it into the playoffs if he does. And this is definitely one of Keselowski's best tracks. So
see if they talk about aluminum control arms on a broadcast of that's why they're expanding so much.
Oh, what did they say?
No, I was wondering if they're going to bring it up on the broadcast.
Oh, would they bring it up? Yeah.
I'm not
interesting.
They probably don't even know.
That's pretty good. We don't really, totally understand it. Is it just because, if that was the issue, Ed, why do they continue with that? Because they're so much lighter?
Well, yeah, lighter, stronger. It's a new wave. It's a new way of doing things. I don't think they ever even thought about being so hot that the parts would expand to the point where they'd be out of spec.
Is it that important to have lighter components?
Well, lighter, stronger is always good in a race car. I'll always put more lead where you need it to make the car handle better.
Unsprung weight is really what it's about, right?
Total weight of the car. The less steel you have in a car, the lighter the car would be. You can put more lead in the car then, or tungsten, in the places you want it to make it handle. They don't have many adjustments on these cars anymore,
Pretty amazing. Look how far we've come to be where we are. And now cars can't make it through inspection without failing because the aluminum is expanding. I just wonder why they were, what the deal was with the umbrellas. Where were they putting them where they've had them? They had them all over the place.
Where the sun wouldn't get at them.
Yeah, well.
For the points measuring in tech. The one thing, as the cars are on the track here at Slinger, there's a car that's out here we haven't seen in a while. It's back again, one of our multi-champions. Lowell Bennett is here in the 2-car. It's interesting behind that car. Remember the team that Rich Bickle drove for last year? Looks like Lowell Bennett's hooked up with them, at least for this race here.
T1 Racing? That was the team Bickle drove for last year. That's Lowell Bennett in that car?
Lowell Bennett. It looks pretty sporty.
The biggest issue with Lowell, as he would tell you, is his equipment suddenly was no good at Slinger anymore, and put him in a car that can win at Slinger. Woo! Be like the old Lightning Lowell again, huh? Yeah, pretty great stuff.
Or Conrad with his new Fury.
Yeah, Conrad Morgan, 73 years old. He's got a brand new, or not a brand new, I guess it's a partially new Fury that only had like 3 races on it. Fury is the hot ticket for sure. And here's Conrad.
other guys, Eddie Hoffman's here for I guess his first time. Casey Johnson is here on the track. Our 2 Kalicki Development Driver Program drivers from Wisconsin are here. Jake Nottestad and Riley Stenjum are both on the track right now.
And that's going to be a race within a race with those two, at least in the Midwest. There's other drivers.
Has gone to the top of the board in practice with an 11.3, followed by Casey Johnson. Those are the 2 guys in the 11.3s right now.
So much for Casey missing the first day of practice, huh? It's pretty funny. Fronty boys told me yesterday, everybody comes here and they change everything on the car and they get back to the exact same settings they had on it when they drove in the gate. The guys that showed up with good settings are the ones that are going to do well. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. I hope to see many of you at Slinger Speedway today. And until next week, we like everybody to remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and all-around king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you taking some time to listen to us, and we'll talk to you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
On a cold February morning in Indianapolis, Tony Karitzis woke up, got dressed, loaded his sawed-off shotgun, and drove to his bank. He wasn't there to steal anything. He was there to take his life back. American Hostage is a new podcast starring me, John Hamm, that tells the true story of one man who channeled the rage of a nation and took justice into his own hands. Follow American Hostage wherever you get your podcasts, or you can binge all 8 episodes right now on Amazon Music or Wondery Plus.